All right. What's going on, everybody? And welcome to another episode of the A Show. It is episode 16.
Wow, we're here. Are we live? Are we here?
Yeah,
we're
really
live. Doing this?
We're really live. We're doing this. We have had to go through quite the ordeal to bring
I have
this.
to pee, but you know what? I'm sacrificing that to do the podcast for what may be an hour and a half. But I think my bladder is pretty resilient. It's almost of Roman Reigns-esque quality, or maybe
Wow.
the Miz.
Your bladder can hulk up.
Yeah, something along those lines. But it's gonna last. It goes. It'll last. I think I'll last. If I don't, I'll just be. You just hear the sounds of me tinkling over the podcast. But we're here.
Do it in a cup.
No, that's too much noise. It's the echo. All this other stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right. But it has been a great week in wrestling. We have a special guest, rather, to help us out this week. He actually won our Royal Rumble pool last week. And we had Rob on the show last week. Shout out to Rob. Thanks for being on the show. But we kind of Matt Damon, Jimmy Kimmel'd him, where we kind of ran out of time and we didn't have time to get him on. So as a consolation, we have the male winner, or not the male winner.
Wow. Sorry, Rob.
we have the winner of the male Royal Rumble pool. Amp Avelli is here. Random Acts of Podcast. What's going on, Amp?
Not much, man. I'm glad to finally be on the A Show, man.
Yeah, you're on the real A Show now, buddy.
Oh Lord, but I'm glad I won the sweet state. Shout out to Ed McMahon out here, but shout out to y'all, man. Feel good to finally be on the A Show, man. Even though y'all kind of disrespect SmackDown. Well, not even y'all. Just Justin, he disrespects SmackDown.
Road Dogg disrespects SmackDown. Road Dogg disrespects SmackDown.
Shout out to him,
that is a bad show. That's a bad show. And we'll talk about SmackDown in a few. But you actually won. It's funny how you actually won the pool because you tried to sell your number.
Yeah, I tried to. I'm the Ted DiBiase of the chat, so I was trying to sell my number to Cliff. He didn't want to cop it, so his loss.
Cliff could have won. This could have been Cliff.
It would have been totally different place, totally different time. But you know what? We're here. Shout out to Amp Avelli, leader of the Random Acts of Podcast alongside Devin. Which I mean, you guys post episodes so frequently now. I don't even know a firm day of the week to.
Yeah, I see the links every day.
Yeah, we dropped. We did the 12 days of podcast, where we did 12 podcasts in 12 days, and then I think the other week we dropped 3 episodes in 1 week. I don't think I'm gonna do one this week. I'm gonna promote this A Show, so I'm gonna take a week off just to promote this.
You deserve it, man.
Wow, it's lit. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you. I guess let's just get into it. I mean, we got a pretty packed no holds bar this week, and we're gonna get right into no holds bar for the week. The first thing that we have on the table, 205 Live has a new creative direction under Triple H or Paul Levesque, and this was just revealed today, rather, after 2, I want to say even 3 stellar 205 Live shows, which have even made me start watching the show. It's been revealed that Vince McMahon has stepped away from the show as the creative voice of the show and put things in charge, and gave things rather to Paul Levesque and his team of Adam Pearce and one of the head writers who are now writing 205 Live. I think we've all seen the differences in the show. There's no more comedy bullshit. There's no more backstage interviews and stuff like that. It's mostly just focused on the wrestling. Even the commentating is more like the CWC.
It's wild because I should have seen it and I didn't notice it. And it's weird that Enzo leaving is really the end of an era for 205 Live. Really, it's the point where Vince McMahon threw his hands up. Is I don't want anything to do with this show anymore. If we don't have Enzo to put over characters and everything like that, I don't want anything to do with it. And now Triple H is running it, and I should have seen it because then you see the influx of the UK talent. Tyler Bate on the show last week in the main event, and this week we had Roderick Strong, and we should have seen it coming. I don't know. It's cool. it's cool at that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't notice that Vince was like running the show, but it kind of makes sense because that whole thing with Noam Dar saying Alicia Fox to sound like Alicia Fucks. That sounds like something Vince would do. That sounds like something only Vince would think is funny. So Vince running that show makes a lot of sense now.
Even just the small stuff on 205 Live that's different now, where it's like we're noticing there's longer matches, and we're noticing that I really want to keep it 100. Paul's guys, I like to call them Paul's guys. Like Paul's guys are the main focus on this show. And you look at the first episode of the new redesign or the new tournament, it was TJP and Tyler Bate. And now on this episode, it's Hideo Itami and Roderick Strong. Like these are all Paul's guys.
It feels good.
Yeah, I really like the new direction, and we'll get into more of 205 Live later in the show. But I think it's all for the good. The next point I want to talk about on the show today is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal getting a bigger role due to the upcoming documentary that drops in April. I'm not. In what way do you guys think that this Battle Royal is going to change? And did you ever really care about it?
I cared about it the year that Cesaro won when he body slammed Big Show out the ring. That was like one of the only years I ever cared about it. Other than that, not really. I consider it just a pre-show match, so I'm not sure what they can possibly do to it to make it like more prestigious. Probably, maybe add like a match where like they get like a chance to go for the secondary title. Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I you know what? I'm a sucker for a battle royal, and I like the fact that it gets a lot of people on the card that you wouldn't previously have seen before. Like, you know, a few years ago we had the Damian Sandow or Mizdow, and he got his real good, you know, shine in that match. And you see Cesaro and what it's done for Baron Corbin, even though Baron Corbin is now a loser again. But it's done good. I like it. In terms of a higher profile, I would probably just say they would probably put it on the main card of the show, make it an actual attraction on the show. They probably will do that, and they probably will add actual, not just like, you know, fodder or filler talent. They'll probably add someone huge. Like it doesn't look like it'll be Big Show since like his hip surgery is, you know, he's not going to be done by hip surgery in a minute, but you know they could add someone. You know, Seth Rollins has been screwed out of 2 programs by now.
God. How would you? What's the? I just feel like anyone who's in that match, there's a stigma attached to them where it's like they're a jobber or they're somebody that booking forgot about, and
they all show up together. There's not even like everyone gets an entrance. It's like they all walk down, to like whatever Flow Rider song is the WrestleMania theme. And then, even though they had that 1 year where Shaq got an entrance, I was like, Shaq. And he came out to Designer. Remember that shit?
That was terrible.
Yep.
I was there. You know what's funny? You bringing that one up? That's the one Baron Corbin won. And I was there, and nobody noticed Baron Corbin was in that match. Because the main focus was Big Show and Shaq. So, like, once Baron Corbin won, I was like, ain't that dude from NXT? Like, what the hell? and at that point, it was
Baron Corbin, and he was a dweeb then too. So it was like he was even worse. I think, well, obviously, bigger dweeb, one of the worst book characters on SmackDown. But I don't know. Like I think that the idea is cool. I think that the trophy's cool, but it only really meant something that first year. Like, didn't they forget about it? If they want to make a bigger focus on it, sure, but I just think it's going to be another match. So I have to see why and how it's so important and what big name they put there to make it seem important. I think that'll be the most important part.
I think they have no choice because if you look at the potential WrestleMania card, it's going to be a lot of big, quote unquote, big name dudes without matches this year. Because I don't think Bray's going to have a match. Randy Orton's probably not going to have a match. Randy Orton's probably going to have to be in this Battle Royal. So they really have no choice but to make it look prestigious this year.
Yeah.
Probably Sammy and Kevin, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, I think they'll have a match.
Yeah, I think so. Whether it's like a multi-man like tag match, they're gonna be in a match.
Yeah, they're gonna have like some sort of match, and I think we might get like a tag team ladder match for the tag team titles or something like that. We'll get to that on SmackDown because I'm going to tell you my theory on SmackDown. The next news point is Jason Jordan actually underwent neck surgery this week. It's been reported for a while that he's been having nagging injuries. He's been off TV for, I want to say, a month and a half. He hasn't been on TV, not on TV, but he hasn't been wrestling for a month and a half. And on house shows, he's largely relegated to staying on the apron and doing some heel type stuff. But they announced that he had the surgery the night after Raw on Tuesday. But the only thing is that there is no timetable for his return. I did say when they lost the titles at Royal Rumble that I felt as though this was them saying, okay, he needs to go take a break. And then the further write-off was on Raw on Monday. But this really sucks for Jason Jordan. I think he's doing a great job.
Man, if this write-off is Kurt telling him to go home, that is sad.
Well, they can't hit him. They can't do anything like crazy.
Yeah, but he could, Jason Jordan could reveal his evil plan and he could fire him or suspend him. But just to say, like, go home and don't come back, cool off, and just like he's out for a year or something. I don't know.
Can they do like a fake beat down or something where like Jason Jordan's like already beat up in the back?
It's implied that he's beaten down.
Yeah, he's in
like in and he shows up like Marcus Houston and you got served. And if heaven was a mile away, like that's
shout out to Big Emerald.
Oh my God, yeah, it's it's sad because he's had a lot of momentum. I think maybe those rolling Northern Light suplexes probably had an effect on it because just the way he was pulling them off and sort of rolling through it couldn't have been good for just to bridge on that neck so many times and put so much pressure on it time after time and time after time again.
That's a good point.
Shout out to Ben Coyle for saying that Jason Jordan really wants to be Kurt Angle's son for real.
Yeah. Neck injury? Look at that, man. I don't know if he got the same, surgery that Kurt got in like 2003 where he was only out for like 3 months or something, 3 or 4 months. He wasn't even out.
It seems like a minor surgery where he may be able to be back before the summertime, but I think Mania is completely out of the question. And I mean, where does that leave Seth Rollins? Like we just said, Seth Rollins doesn't have a match right now. He's been screwed out of like 2 programs. And I think everyone thought that the program that they were going to put him in was Dean Ambrose, and now he has nothing.
I mean, they could figure something out. I don't have a plan for Seth Rollins right now because I think, anything besides probably The Miz, anything would be rushing it because you could just throw The Miz in anything.
Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Is it Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Seth Rollins.
I think Miz is for sure getting a match, one-on-one match at Mania. I think so too. I've always thought that was Finn Balor's spot, though. I think that's Finn Balor's spot and nobody else's right now. Because if you look at, and we'll get to this on Raw, but like I think that's where it's going to be. Seth Rollins, though, this goes back to my theory that every time you have a match against Triple H at WrestleMania, you go downhill directly after.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
Jericho.
Daniel Bryan,
Roman Reigns. Remember, after he did that, he got popped right after that.
Oh yeah, he did.
Am said Sting.
Yeah, Sting for sure.
Oh my God.
It's the Triple H WrestleMania match is the Madden curse.
That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to say. I mean, the man gets in great shape. He gets the ultra tan of a lifetime. His wife is usually there in some demonic costume.
But he's never been like the Mania main event guy. And that's been the thing since 2000. It's like he's always tried to do the Mania main event, and it's just never been what it could be for some other person. Like, and I get he wants to make guys. Like, I really think the Daniel Bryan Triple H match is like one of his best matches ever. Yeah. But it just ends up not making the guys look good after they come out of it. Like, Seth Rollins was lost after that match last year.
Yeah. I mean, I have to agree with you. I don't think they sort of plan. He spends a lot of time planning it because it's Triple H. He invests in sort of this long-term storyline that may start even the year before, but then it's like, where do you go from there? But good luck to Jason Jordan, and hopefully, he gets better soon and he's able to do things because he was really on a momentum. Like the character was very nuanced. He was doing all the right things, I think, and then it just injuries have plagued him. unfortunate Mania season
And
injuries.
It started off rough, and there's a lot of unfortunate Mania injuries just every year. But like he started off rough, but I really started to come around to him, and he just sucks up heel heat.
Injuries. Now that I think about it.
Yep, since Bryan's year, really, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, Bryan's year was like Punk just dipping, so I wouldn't call that an injury. Well, I call it injury in a certain way, but
the year after, pretty much everybody was injured. The one in Dallas. It was a ridiculous amount of injuries.
You work these guys every fucking night, and then you got guys doing now you got guys doing SmackDown and Raw, and then they turn around and do the Mix Max Challenge, and then they do like house shows, and they're going overseas. Like that just goes to show like how much these guys really work, and they work a lot.
Yeah.
The next point is in more humorous news. Booker T wants to whip Corey Graves' ass.
But I tell you, if I got Corey Graves into a fisticuffs, I would beat him down like he stole something.
What would you do if Corey Graves was here right now?
I would be whooping his ass all day long.
It came out this week on Booker T, or I want to say it was Stevie Ray's show, I believe, where Booker T was talking about why he left the Raw announced team. Obviously, as you know, the coach has replaced Booker T on Raw, and he said that it was because of Corey Graves. And he said, and this is just a loose quote here, if I see Corey Graves and it's not going to be at a WWE event, I'm going to basically put hands on him. What do you guys think about that?
Well, first of all, when an old black man threatens you, he gonna answer that threat. And the funniest part about it was when Booker T was like, when I find him, I'm gonna beat him until he say, Booker, stop beating me, please. And he say he's gonna take him out. So they're gonna take him back to the woodshed. I was like, wow, yeah, it's Booker T. Yeah, Booker T gonna
My
Booker
man
T
just
gonna see
threw
about
professionalism out the window.
Yeah. But shout out to him, he said he's not gonna do it at no events. He said he's not gonna do it at Raw, he's not gonna do it at SmackDown. When you see him on the streets, it's over.
Yo, the streets is Corey Graves lurking on.
Corey Graves looks kind of fat now. Like his chin, like he's a lot. He's not right.
He got announcer weight. You know, he got announcer weight. He's sitting in the chair for at least 6 hours a week, and he's just like he's doing the best he can. In terms of my views on this, I'd like to quote the great LaMelo Ball, and he says, "Beat that nigga ass."
Yep.
The great LaMelo Ball from Monday Night Raw. Just everyone knows they have this is the first time I figure out they had an actual problem. I did not know they had a problem, but it kind of makes sense now because of how like Corey would sort of belittle Booker T's opinions on Monday Night Raw, and Booker T, you can't really see them. But Booker T is fun. Listen, we had this debate last week. I think Booker T is fun on commentary. I'm not a fan of the coach in this week 2 thing. I think it's too play-by-play analyst and not enough like sports entertainment-y. But it is what it is. But like I think, I guess this is just an old school sort of wrestling thing where he's just like, you know what, I can sense you taking shots at me and I don't fuck with it. Like I'm Booker T. I'm not just like, Tom Phillips or Byron Saxton or one of those, goobers. Like I'll actually like beat your ass. Like
he gotta set an example because Corey Graves like legit think it's a game. Like he was taking shots at him on Raw this week. Sometimes you gotta punch somebody in the face. I think Corey Graves thinks that because he's not medically cleared to wrestle that he can't get his ass beat.
Oh my God, yo!
But Corey is one of those like young, sarcastic guys, and I think that's why a lot of people like him on commentary, especially. But I could see, and Booker implied that there was a lot more problems behind the scenes between the two.
Yeah, and then essentially it was the reason why he was taken off of commentary, and he's taken off every week. That's like a paycheck out of his hands. He's got kids. He's got a family. He's got to support that. Like it was a good move over the last couple of months. I'd probably be pissed too. I don't know how it was done, but it looked like something was done.
it might have come to a head, I think maybe one day a couple weeks ago, and it just basically they were like, okay, let's just get the coach. I feel like this has probably been a long time coming. They had to kind of smoothly position Booker out of that role, and I thought, like, what better way to do that with the start of their new quote unquote season going Raw. It made sense, but Corey Graves better watch his ass.
I agree. It's not Booker not one to be fucked with. I wouldn't be just out here, sniggling and giggling on Raw.
Bro, Booker, he whooped Batista's ass. Like, I'm not fucking with Booker T.
For fun.
He destroyed Batista.
Like, just off rip, just was like, what, you said something? Yeah. Don't think because we on this SummerSlam commercial, I won't beat your ass.
Booker T went to prison.
Probably for beating somebody's ass. So you know what?
For robbery, my dude.
Yeah, arm robbery, strong arm robbery.
Strong arm, man.
It's like the last person you should be messing with.
Is a fucking arm robber. But yeah, that was no holds barred for the week. Let's get into the weekly shows. Amp, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
This is the most grueling part of our week. Me and Meelz sit down and we watch over 5 to 6 hours of television straight through every single week. And this week, I have to say this week, even though Raw wasn't a bad show, I started watching it late on Monday, and I almost YouTubed it, yo. But I did it. I managed to get through it.
I'm gonna make a confession. I YouTubed it this week. Wow. I did see certain parts of it, but I YouTubed it. And one of the bad things about YouTubing is you don't see like the cut scenes and whatnot. You don't see the backstage promos. The YouTubing is just straight matches.
Yeah, and you don't get the real context, but it's if you're looking for something like, yo, I'm not really trying to sit there for 3 hours. I'm really just trying to kill 20 minutes. Like, YouTubing is the way to go. But yeah, you lose a lot of like the context. Things are a little bit out of order from time to time. And then, it is what it is. Like, you probably didn't see like Asuka and Bayley had a somewhat like good to decent to good match.
Yeah. I thought that match was great, but we'll get to that in a second. First thing on Raw, Roman Reigns and The Miz qualified for the Elimination Chamber. And apparently the way that we're going to be finding out about the sixth member of the chamber is through a fatal four-way between Finn Balor, Matt Hardy, Apollo Crews, and Bray Wyatt, the most random foursome that you could ever find in your life. And they'll be fighting it out to figure out who will get the sixth spot, because Elimination Chamber is literally in like a week and a half. But how do you guys feel about Roman Reigns and the Miz qualifying and the potential sixth person? I think it's obvious who the sixth person is going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be Apollo Crews. Yeah, it's kind of obvious.
I feel like I feel like it kind of should be Apollo Crews. I feel like if there's any time to give Apollo Crews like
Meelz.
All right, so hear me out.
No,
hey, I'm listening because WWE kind of on the shock win phase right now. They pulling off some stuff.
Look at the undercard for this card. It's virtually non-existent. There's Nia Jax and Asuka. There's probably, I have no idea. There's another Elimination Chamber, and there's like 2 Elimination Chambers in that one other match. Maybe there'll be a tag title match. If you put Apollo Crews in the match, you put him in, and you're able to have a match between maybe Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. Maybe Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor. I don't know. But like, I feel like this is a time to give Apollo Crews, you're not giving him the strap. You're just saying like, yo, at any time, at any place, this could be possible. Like,
remember the Elimination Chamber when Carlito and Chris Masters were in it? Remember that one?
Yes, I do remember that. It was terrible.
That's what this. Yeah, thank you. They're not fucking putting Apollo Crews in that fucking match.
That's what I'm about to say.
Remember the Elimination Chamber where Santino almost won? And that was amazing. That was an amazing moment.
Go ahead, Amp.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber, like every single one has one person that doesn't belong. Because I remember one year, like R-Truth was in it.
That's Elias.
Yeah, Elias. Yeah.
Not chill. Elias just beat one former 16-time WWE champion and Braun Strowman. They just beat him on Raw.
Who's getting pushed harder right now? Apollo Crews or Elias?
Probably Elias.
Okay, so that's why Elias is in the match. But Apollo Crews is not. Listen, this is to splinter off 2 feuds. Obviously, Hardy and Bray, they're going to save that for whatever. I don't even know how that's. I don't even really care about that feud anymore. But I think that you're setting up all the Mania feuds in the chamber. Obviously, Roman's going to win. obviously we're going to get Miz and Finn, whether it be Finn eliminating Miz or Miz doing something fucked up to Finn, and Elias is going to go ahead into whatever the fuck he has with John Cena. That's going to splinter off all the feuds, and Braun Strowman is just going to be Braun.
I just feel like this is the opportunity to give Apollo Crews just a rub for even just like a moment and just build some sort of momentum. The match is the rub. The match is the rub. I agree, but you have this star on Raw who's just kind of floundering, and you need something to sort of give him a jolt, maybe give him his confidence, maybe give him a pep in his step, maybe give him a purpose. And this is an opportunity to do so. I mean, he may not win. There's 3 other way more capable competitors, but I feel like maybe Apollo Crews should win. I don't know.
No,
it's Black History Month. Come on.
Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Apollo is fine. The rub is the match. The rub is him being in there with a former Universal Champion, a former Tag Team ECW Champion, a former WWE Champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's his rub right there. Like, Apollo he's been looking good, like, as far as matches go. They gave him a lot in the Miz match this week. But as far as it being his time, he's got to lose the Titus Worldwide bullshit. But I think it's going to be a tremendous match, even though it's, like, random as fuck.
I love Titus Worldwide.
Oh,
I love what it does.
Weird.
No. All right. So I love what it does for Apollo Crews because they give him an opportunity to speak where he had no previous opportunity to say a word ever. He just existed and did backflips and did front flips and did that, but he had no previous opportunity to talk.
I don't agree. It makes him like a jobber to me.
Really?
Yeah. Titus O'Neil's a loser. It makes him look like a loser, and then you add Dana Brooke, Job Squad. Makes him look bad.
That's what it looks like. He needs to get away. The only way Apollo can be dope is if he gets away from them and he has these matches like he had against Miz and like he had against who did he lose against? Then who did he have a match against? Oh, the bar match he had where he like kind of just went off and was like going crazy. Like, he needs to have moments like that by himself.
You could have a moment like that in Elimination Chamber is all I'm saying. But yeah.
All right, goodbye, man. All right, bye. The next point is Raw. The heel turn of Sasha Banks is I think we're pretty close to that happening and that being a reality. This week we saw her have a promo with Bayley where she basically was looking at her match with Asuka, and of course Bayley had her match with Asuka on Monday, and it was kind of like a cool little competitive thing between her and Bayley, where Bayley was like, I don't know if I can beat Asuka, but I know I can beat you. And everyone in the crowd was like, "Whoa, shit!" And now
Sasha, you just heard you just felt like excuse me. You just heard, no, she didn't. Like I heard that. Yeah. Like that's what I heard.
But I like that because it wasn't like. And here's what I like about the storylines, and this will intersect into the Bayley Asuka match as well. I love that Asuka's streak is intersecting with so many storylines on Raw, whether it be Alexa being paranoid about actually facing Asuka at WrestleMania, or Nia being the one that wants to beat her streak and her being the biggest threat, to Sasha and Bayley coming up short and then starting to turn on each other or find their competitive edge because of the streak. Asuka is a force of nature, and I feel as though her character should be shaking up the division in that way. And I love that they booked it this way because it makes Asuka even more important and it gives the women more purpose.
I agree.
That's amazing writing right there.
They stumbled onto it. I don't want to give them that much credit.
Well, I wouldn't say stumble. I wouldn't say stumble, but I mean, obviously, you guys can see that the writing for the women has changed. Ryan Ward, who wrote the women in NXT and he wrote them in SmackDown in 2016, he's back on Raw now. So it's obviously you can see the difference between the way that the women are booked. They feel like human characters again. Meanwhile, like Road Dogg has them looking like complete cowards and idiots every week. And go ahead.
No, I just like the fact there was also 3 women's matches on Raw this week, which is probably unprecedented, period.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think you built Nia looks really strong, even though Nia lied in her promo and said that Asuka hasn't beaten her. I was like, what happened 3 weeks ago? Asuka just beat you. No. She beat her in NXT, but they're not bringing it up.
NXT don't count.
Yeah, whatever.
It counts and then it doesn't count. Like, shut up. That's why I don't give him enough credit for this Asuka thing.
But I think that when it comes to Mania, you break down into a lot of different lines. And of course you had the really good, I gave it like 3.5 stars, almost 4 stars. I really like Bayley and Asuka as far as a return to their matches from NXT. And of course Asuka won, but I love that every time she's beating these women, we're seeing what it's doing to them, because they kind of lost a lot of that competitive edge. And I love to see the outcome of that. And Meelz mentioned, that they had a great match. I love the stuff after the match where Asuka shook Bayley's hand, because remember, she used to treat Bayley like she was like a nobody, and now it's like it's respect there.
And she also didn't do it to Sasha Banks, which is another little thing in this thing. Sasha Banks was in the ring crying, and because she lost, Asuka was laughing, and now he gives the nod to Bayley. What does Bayley deserve that over Sasha Banks? We've seen a lot more aggressive Sasha Banks over the last couple of weeks. I like that they're hinting towards a turn. I hope because as good as Sasha is as a face, and she works as smaller than most of the other women, she's not at her full power unless she's the heel, the boss. She's not truly the boss unless she's like the badass Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And they also announced the participants in the women's elimination chamber in a really awkward moment from Kurt Angle, which led into a really cool promo from Alexa Bliss, which actually heightened her paranoid character that they're building. The participants are, and I think we all guessed this other than like fucking Nia Jax, Bayley, Sasha, Alexa Bliss, obviously, Mandy Rose, and is all of Absolution in it? No, Mickie James.
Mandy, and Mickie James, yeah.
Yeah, I had seen a couple like wrestling Twitter pages. They were like, Dave Meltzer reported these are the participants. And first of all, what Dave Meltzer said was completely wrong. And second of all, it's kind of obvious who was going to kind of be in there, because it's so many women wrestlers on Raw. So I don't know why people was on their knees for Dave Meltzer when he announced that.
Bro, Dave Meltzer is always wrong. He's literally got nothing right in the last.
Because when he announced it, he put Nia Jax instead of Mickie James. So he was like completely.
Yeah, no, and I like the swerve, because I like the and obviously they booked a match between Nia Jax and Asuka at Elimination Chamber, which should be a great match because you want to heat up Asuka as much as possible before she faces Alexa at WrestleMania. I had always thought that they would put Nia in the match and that they would have Nia beat Alexa or win the Elimination Chamber and have it be Asuka and Nia Jax. But I think that Alexa and Asuka is the direction that they want to go in, because Asuka has already beaten Alexa in January. And I think that's a really good story to go into it, that she's already faced her and she already knows what's good.
And I like the fact that they put the little stipulation that if Nia does win, she'll be entered into the WrestleMania match. I think it's something that gives the match a little bit more purpose. It gives them a little bit more to go, for, instead of just a match for the sake of a match. Yeah. So it's a nice little added incentive.
Yeah, really dope, really dope. I'm really looking forward to the Women's Elimination Chamber match. I think they can really kill it. What do you guys think about the booking of the women on Raw right now?
They're doing a real good job with it. When it comes to WrestleMania, it looks like we might have 3 to 4 women's matches this year.
All from Raw. I think I only see one SmackDown women's match, and I think it's going to be Charlotte and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, and then Sasha and Bayley's probably going to get a match, and then we're going to have Asuka versus whoever she wrestle.
Yeah, and Alexa, Nia Jax might be the odd man out here, though. I do think that there's a lot storyline wise you can do with Nia and Alexa, where it's like their breakup has to be more profound. And I always imagine it being like Nia finally turns her back on Alexa for being such a manipulative, person to her. And then that leads to Alexa losing the title to Asuka or something like that. I think that's a really good story there with Nia and Alexa, which could lead to a program after Mania is over.
I think Alexa's going to lose that title in the Elimination Chamber. I don't know who, but I think she's probably going to lose it there.
Oh man, but who could realistically, like, what big match do you see come? Because she's beaten all of these women. Like, the only people she hasn't beaten are the Absolution chicks.
Well, the way they building it, they're making Alexa look kind of weak. So if she was she probably would need that Elimination Chamber win to look strong against Asuka. But it's just like, if you just look at the Elimination Chamber and then you look at Alexa Bliss, you're like, how the hell she's going to win this match? But it might be a fluke win. Nia might come out in there and help her.
He's the female edge next to the real female edge. But
I like the accusation on Raw of sexism. I feel like that's not used enough, and it's probably, and the thing is, it's probably way more, accurate than it's something where you could actually believe it, considering how they've treated women over the last number of years, and the era that sort of Kurt Angle came from, where maybe women, they didn't have the women's revolution, so something like that. So I like the sexism thing. Like, it's a serious accusation. It's very heelish in terms of just like, wow, I can't believe she would stoop to that level, and it's very good. I think, female edge.
It's cool, but Kurt Angle, when she brought that up, Kurt Angle quickly destroyed her. He's like, you haven't even had a title match since October. And I had to think back, I was like, damn, it has been October.
And she said, and whose fault is that? I don't make the matches, you do.
Yeah, great. That was an excellent comeback. She basically shitted on Kurt Angle's life, and then all he had to say was, do y'all think she should be in the match? Stupid comeback. One more thing from Raw. Braun Strowman as a face. Where do you guys see this continuing? I think I'm starting to hit my limit with Braun Strowman.
I'm sorry. He looks like a loser to me, man. I don't care, dog. It's dope. They be like, Braun and all that shit. And everybody pops for that. But it's like, how many matches is he going to lose?
I like it. I don't know. I feel like eventually he's going to throw on the red and yellow, and that's what he's going to end up doing. But I like Braun as a face just because it's something that's organic. Because I think, and it's something that they're getting behind. They're putting a lot of, I've said over the last couple of weeks, they're adding a lot of toys to, his repertoire in terms of the trucks and, ambulances and all these other things where he's doing it. They're really making him, it's really been an organic sort of like, I'm a face, I can, do this. I can, it's really organic. That's what I like.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that the power slam, like the 18 million power slams he gave to Cena and Elias on Monday, were really excessive. And I know the crowd wants it, but I'm starting to like, when's he going to have like a meaningful program where he's actually going to face some adversity, and he's not going to be able to flip a car or some shit on? Like, I get that they like the stunts. But I also feel like they're testing us to see how far they can take the stunts before we say, okay, fuck this guy.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to clean up what I said. I kind of said Braun was a loser. I don't legit think he's a loser. I just think that like he just needs something meaningful. Like he just like in that triple threat match, he kind of looked like a goof how he lost that. Because he just he power slammed Cena, then he just let Elias just like push him out the ring like it was nothing.
Absolutely. And that shouldn't happen. I feel like the booking of that match was kind of weird. And of course, that match was a triple threat between Cena, who felt like an afterthought on this show, Braun and Elias. And the person who won would be the last person that gets into the Elimination Chamber. And Elias won that. So he'll be the sixth person to enter, which should be really cool. I would love for him to have like a microphone and his guitar in the actual chamber so he sings for the whole match.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be amazing. They got to do that.
I think that would be hilarious because he's going to be in there. He's obviously going to be there to the end. So I want to see how that will work, and then eliminate him quickly because for the comedy aspect of it. So let's get to SmackDown, which I thought was a much improved show from the past 2 weeks, where nothing. Last week kind of felt like a nothing show, even coming off of the Rumble. We have the Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan feud that is continuing again this week. They kind of dropped it for the past 3 to 4 weeks, and now it's back where it's now Shane McMahon came out last night and said that Bryan was, obviously showing favoritism. It was the same promo, except the one thing he did say.
Go ahead.
The one thing he did say was that he feels as though, and he hasn't said this yet, he said that he feels as though Bryan is living vicariously through KO and Sammy.
Burn.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does it sound like he was about to fire him?
Yeah, and it sounded like he was about to cry too. Like he was getting choked up and shit. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Like, Daniel Bryan about to get fired. That's how I felt the whole time. But then it just like led to nothing.
And then it becomes an issue where you do this tease, and they're doing this tease again, where it's like you want to be in the ring, and it's like, are they actually going to put him in the ring? And
don't jerk people around like that. That's kind of messed up because every year everyone and they know this. Every year everyone's just like, is this will be the year Daniel Bryan enters the Royal Rumble, or is this the year that he returns at WrestleMania? And this is kind of like looking like the year, but then they could also just jerk us around and be like, well, representing Daniel Bryan in this feud is blah, 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 blah. And, don't continue to do this feud if it's not going to pay off in the ring. That's all I really care about because it's been going on very, very long. It makes me think they're actually going to put him back in.
I think that it's a bad thing to really tease people with the possibility that Daniel Bryan will come back. But essentially, I think like if he did come back, what match could he have? Like there's no match. I would want to see Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon.
I do. Well, not like them teaming up. I would want to see a Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Sammy and KO. That would be a good match.
That might actually be dope. But then again, like we've seen Sammy and KO versus Shane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right about that. You got to think about it. Shane gonna need a match this year. He don't want a match.
Yeah, you're right. But
so them two tag teaming would be a good match because then if Daniel Bryan is not all the way not ready to wrestle, you can kind of like hide it within a tag match.
Right. I think that it's a good idea. I mean, essentially, you knock your birds out with one stone, but there's so many matchups that we want to see. Like, I feel as though when people if they hear that Daniel Bryan's ready to go, they're going to want the Shinsuke match. They're going to want the AJ Styles. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you want to build that up first.
Well, yeah, you're right about that. But you got to just tell the fans, like, hey, if you want Daniel Bryan back and you want him to stay this time, just like let him be like a main attraction. Like, let Daniel Bryan be like Undertaker. Just how like
Brock Lesnar.
2 to 3 matches a year. Like, if the fans get mad about that, fuck them.
Of course, we know that's not going to happen. Daniel Bryan is never coming back. So, yeah. Do you guys feel as though like this program is like super boring? Like
I don't know where it's going. Like it's going.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going. So I don't have a clear. Hey, man, this match is going to be so awesome because they literally have not gotten physical once. I'm waiting for someone to just do that angry white man shove. It's like, come on, bro. Like, just shove him down and just a bit of rage. Like, Shane McMahon turns red or orange or something and just shoves Daniel Bryan down or something. And it just leads. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what they're waiting for, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, we did see him take 2 bumps, Daniel Bryan.
Oh, come on, man. Those are not fucking bumps.
Come on, man. Those are bumps, man.
Do not call those bumps, bro. The next point of this is, and I guess this is really the only big thing that really happened in the show, other than a really good Usos promo. I really think the Usos are, bar none, some of the best talkers and the best team in the WWE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they body that promo, man.
Great promo. The Fastlane main event has been revealed, rather. We saw it unfold on SmackDown. It was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a really good match with a shitty finish, this seems like the MO for SmackDown now, that had AJ Styles, for some strange reason, attack Sami Zayn to cause a DQ. And of course, now the match is a triple threat between AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. What do you guys feel about this? I'm so tired of seeing AJ Styles and Kevin Owens wrestle.
Yeah, I'm tired of it too. That made AJ Styles look ridiculous. How he just like punched Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn didn't put his hands on him. He was just like in his face. But like all you gotta do is just like, hey, fuck out of here. Like he just got up and just punched Sami Zayn. He hit him with the trailer park punches. He hit KO too. I'm like, what the hell going on?
Oh my God. What kind of they make AJ, they constantly undermine AJ in this program, and the only time he's really felt like something of a champion was the Jinder Mahal stuff. And now it just seems like he is literally at the mercy of 2, powerful GM and commissioners who basically tell him whatever they want, whatever they want him to do. And he looks I mean, obviously we know these guys aren't going to win. I just don't know why you book this match with no type of heat. Like, I don't get it.
I agree. I don't know. There's just everyone's over the match, but then again, this is just like SmackDown. Like, this is just like obviously this is a filler pay-per-view until WrestleMania. I have no idea, and we're getting Shinsuke versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania, so this is obviously just like, oh, we don't have anything else to do. We don't really want to hurt anybody else, so let's just make this a triple threat match. This is the natural progression, and it's just. I don't really want to see it, but I'm sure it'll be good.
Here's my.
Let's be real quick. SmackDown doesn't need any more pay-per-views until WrestleMania, so I don't even know why they have one.
They don't.
They don't have one for like 5 months after this. They'll just let them have this pay-per-view.
Oh shit, they don't. You're right. They don't have another one until after after May, after June.
Yeah, I'm for it.
It's like Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is their next one. That's going to be real rough. That's going to be a real rough.
That's a joint pay-per-view.
Oh, it's a joint pay-per-view. Holy shit! So they don't have anything until August.
Until after SummerSlam, I believe. Like they literally don't.
I'm for this.
They have. I think Backlash. Backlash. Yeah, but that's still in like May. So they really have nothing between. I guess March and May, and then nothing again until after SummerSlam.
Oh, well, I mean, they literally have like 2 people per fucking division on that show, so it makes sense. But here's my pie in the sky booking for that Fastlane main event. I think Nakamura is going to come out and help AJ win. Because his whole thing is, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. And I think that Nakamura is going to be the one that's like, I want this match more than anybody, and I'm not going to let these 2 guys beat you. I think that's what's going to happen. Like, that's what's going to set up that match and that storyline there, whereas AJ, like, I didn't need your help type shit. And I kind of see it happening, but I really like what they do with Nakamura, where it's like less is more, where it's like he's just hanging out in the shadows, like, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you.
I think they should focus less away from their actual problems and focus on, like, this is the opportunity at the main event of WrestleMania, and just sort of work towards that. Maybe have them all in the ring at some point over the next couple of weeks with Nakamura, and just standing one-on-one and just be like, yo, imagine this sort of main event. Imagine this main event. Imagine you have Sammy versus Nakamura. You know, they headlined NXT Dallas a few years ago. Now they're in the main event. Imagine KO versus Nakamura. Or imagine, AJ Styles. And you give people... You make them seem like it could be any one of those 3, and any one of those 3 are a really good match, nonetheless.
We've already had KO versus Nakamura like 50 times already, and it's been boring every time.
Now it's at WrestleMania.
KO himself is just falling off. Like I thought he showed glimpses of greatness in the Sammy match, but that's because they could do this match in their sleep.
I think he's time off.
Yeah, me too. I think he needs to get a write-off or something. Like, I think he really does need time to really refresh his character and come back cool. And I honestly come back as a face. Like, I think I'm ready for that. I think everyone is.
I think I am too.
Yeah.
What did you guys feel about this SmackDown top 10 list that got revealed this week? This confusing list that they brought up last week, where it was essentially this is all kayfabe, or I'm not even sure if it's a work or a shoot, but from what they're saying, it's a shoot that the talent backstage picked a top 10 list, and they will be picking a top 10 list. I guess it's every week. The first one came out this week. Ty Dillinger is number 10, obviously, and strangely. Randy Orton is number 9. Becky Lynch is number 8. The Usos are number 7. The New Day are number 6. Bobby Roode is number 5. Naomi is number 4. Shinsuke Nakamura number 3. Charlotte Flair number 2. And AJ Styles number 1.
I think Naomi used the black vote and managed to get really, really high. Because I was like, oh, Naomi. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but I'm like, wow, this is really high, especially over multiple champions. But I don't see the point of this. Especially when you have 2 of the champions on top, it's like, are we supposed to give them more opportunities? They're the champions.
It's the setup. I think it's the setup programs. Because, I mean, you saw Randy Orton come out and RKO Bobby Roode, and that kind of showed him, like, hey, I'm trying to bump my way up to the number 5 spot. Like that could.
This is like the equivalent of like the hottest MCs. It's like, man, I'm not number 8. I'm number 1. Like Kanye's like, how dare you put me at number 8?
Yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up for me, because when you were saying that list, I was like, are they supposed to be using this for like motivation for the background? Because Randy Orton at number 9 is kind of like a shot to him, because he's just been coasting for like the last 2 years. So it's like, are they just doing this to say, hey, Randy, get your shit together?
And Rusev not even on the list.
It's a bunch of faces. It's a bunch of baby faces on this list. Like there's no heels on this list whatsoever.
Damn, that's trash.
Which is crazy. It's crazy to look at that and be like, damn, there are literally 11 13, 14 people up here that are faces on this show. Like that shows you like the real heel discrepancies in this. Like, and even still, KO and Sami Zayn aren't even on this list. But obviously,
no one likes them. Yeah,
yeah. Storyline wise, nobody likes them. But it's like, it's just a weird list. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I think the first program out of it is going to be Randy Orton and Bobby Roode. I think that was the first thing I thought of when he RKO'd Bobby Roode.
And New Day should not be over the
period. I completely agree with that. I don't even know. The thing that makes it frustrating me is that we don't know how they vote and when they vote and what they base it on, and we don't know who does it. And I think that's what kills this for me.
Can we talk about that Orton and Roode feud real quick? Do y'all think that Roode is going to go heel on this feud? Or is this going to stay face versus face?
Gosh, I did not think of that. That's what I think about this feud.
Because I think this is going to lead to a Mania match. I think this probably going to be Randy's match right here.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not going to. He's not going to start a feud with Rusev because he's beaten him in like 4 seconds at SummerSlam, and like he's embarrassed him for months. So I think it leads to maybe we get, John Cena's kind of like Orton run where he's like, you know what, I'm going to elevate the United States Championship by like facing him and stuff. Like, I don't know. It would be nice. I assume Roode would probably get pissed off and turn heel eventually.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that. I'm ready for that.
I want to say the United States title is the only title Randy hasn't had yet, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he just got the SmackDown. He got the SmackDown ones last year, right?
Yeah, he won it with Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
No, I thought it was with Luke. It was a Luke. I thought, right?
It was a little free bird.
Nah, it was. They did a little free birds. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we all remember that. That's a sad moment. Real black mark on SmackDown. I think that's the shift when SmackDown started going downhill after that, because then we had gender right after that.
Well, not right after, but yeah, eventually, yeah.
It was way after. It was like after WrestleMania.
It was in June. It was like 2 months after.
No, I'm saying you making it seem like it happened like directly after, like
the tag team.
Yeah, like that happened in 2006. Gender didn't happen until like December 2017.
Wait a minute. No. That was the same year. That was last year. It was 2017. He won the titles. He won the titles with Bray in 2017.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the tag titles.
Yeah, he won the tag titles with Bray and Luke and them.
But
I thought they won the tag titles before Royal Rumble.
They actually did.
Yeah, they won it towards like, this is like right when they did the little brand split or whatever, because they had won it from Rhino and Heath.
Oh yeah,
you
right.
Lost them to American Alpha.
Yeah,
you're right.
They took the titles off them too quick, off the Wyatt family.
Oh yeah, way too quick. But I get it.
Because they lost the titles in like 3 weeks or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Had to push that fucking Bray Wyatt feud to the brink. That was the most important thing.
Yo, that feud had potential, man. They dropped the ball on that. Right, they had so much potential.
Thank you, Am, because I say the same thing. Like that feud had potential. Like it had something. Like there's something there. There was backstory. There was nuance. There was things you could go back to. There was just something that they've never done before, and now it's just like, oh fuck, well, here we are now. Randy Orton just threw Bray Wyatt into an empty fridge and left him there.
Yeah. I don't think anything about Brandon. I don't think anything about Bobby Roode because I didn't think that highly of him in NXT, and I don't really see why he's still there. I think he would be a better player coach than he is a active talent right now. I felt as though they when he left NXT, he should have just kind of left, the whole pool in itself. But I mean, if Randy Orton and Bobby Roode, that'd be a great pre-show match. Congratulations to them. Did anybody watch the mixed match challenge? I've completely fallen off of this, so this is like literally on whoever watched it.
I do.
Shout out to you because I haven't watched it since the first week.
It was fun. These matches aren't actual matches; they're like fun shit. So they're doing a lot of comedy in this match, a lot of dancing and kissing and all this other stuff. So it's not actual matches. And then Rusev and Lana came out. And then all this other stuff. So it's like, it's fun. And I think that's really what's supposed to be. It's kind of a kid show. It's high key, like, definitely like, if you're 10, you'll enjoy this a lot. And I feel like I'm 10 in the brain. So maybe that's why I enjoy it.
Yeah, you might be. I think you are. 205 Live. Excellent fucking show. This isn't even to discount Lindsay Dorado and Kalisto, who did a legitimate 3-star match. I thought was great, but I think
legitimate 3-star.
Yeah, legitimate 3-star match. It didn't go to the 4-star territory for me.
It was 3.5.
3. Yeah, that's fair.
I saw somebody's head sliding on somebody's back, and I was just like, "What is going on?"
I was like, "Is this a WWE? Like, what is going on here?"
Like,
bro?
and you got served like a face slide down somebody's back. I was like, "Okay, well."
That was the reverse Rana spot, wasn't it? That was the reverse Rana spot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit looked like it hurt. Like, that shit looked terrible. But I do know who did have a great and legitimate 4-star match, and that is Hideo Itami and Roderick Strong, who fucking tore it up for 17 minutes and killed them to a completely fucking quiet crowd.
Oh, wow. It was quiet. Damn. I really got to watch this show, man. I assume
you didn't watch the match?
I didn't watch any of 205 Live. I haven't watched 205 Live, man. I was working on, quick plug. I was working on RNC radio, but
I think you should go back and watch the Roderick.
Oh, match. I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
That was a good match. You can't blame them for like. Have y'all been to like a SmackDown taping with the 205 Lives attached to it?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I have.
I've not.
J5, you gotta admit, once you get to that 205, no matter how much of a wrestling enthusiast you are, you're dead at that point because you just got done watching
a big yawn.
Yeah, it's over, man. They don't care because I don't know if you looked in the crowd, but they let people like stand in the front, like shit like that. They just let people come from like the top of the arena and just come to the bottom. The security don't even be like checking people. That's how Kalisto got hit with that soda. Nobody, security at that point, security just don't give a damn. So.
No, man, I get off 10:30. It is 10:45. What are we still doing here? Like, that's what security.
And then more than that, like you're just conditioned not to care about these guys. And I think it's going to be a really uphill battle for Triple H and the creative on 205 Live to continue. Here's the thing: I don't think they should go away from doing matches like this, and I don't think they should bring back any type of interview segments and shit like that. You should continue to do what you're doing and make these people care again. Because I think they know it's going to be a really uphill battle to do this. But I completely agree. Like, you're tired at that point. But then you're also like, why the fuck should I care about Lindsay Dorado? I've never even seen him have a match longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah. And what is on his feet? Like, what the hell are those? but you get that feeling, and I'm already pooped after like SmackDown. After I'm just being frustrated by SmackDown, I think SmackDown's terrible booking is a terrible opener or like lead into 205 Live. It makes you not want to watch wrestling anymore. I think it's a good show. I think I think if they stay the course with this sort of physical action, I think people will grow to appreciate it. At least being like, yo, you're guaranteed at least 1 3-star to 4-star match every show. And
then next week you have a really really good show next week with Mark Andrews will be showing up on next week's episode from obviously the UK tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And what was this? Oh, the second match was Tony Nese and Gulak.
Roulette, yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yo, is this Roderick Strong's official call up?
No.
No, it's not, because he's all over NXT TV for the next month. So no.
Yeah, and even when they put it on the Twitter, they said NXT Zone. Roderick Strong. Hey, can I make a confession real quick?
What's up?
All right, a couple weeks ago, I was like very intoxicated, so I was in and out of my sleep. So my usually on Wednesdays I have WWE Network on in the background. So 205 Live was on, so I'm like in and out sleep. I'm intoxicated off the Crown Royal. So I wake up out of my liquor nap. So I'm looking at the TV and I see it's Lindsay Dorada. So I've never seen him before. So he had, you know how he got the cat mask? So I looked at the TV. I was like, I know that's not Prince Puma. Because I thought that was Prince Puma. I was like, man, don't tell me it's Prince Puma on 205 Live. So I'm on Twitter searching, and then they said, nah, that's Lindsay Dorada. I was like, wow. I was like, that's good, because I thought they had Prince Puma, aka Ricochet, debuting in a damn cat mask, but that was just the Crown Royal. My bad. But
Ricochet, that's a perfect segue into the NXT section of the show. Amp, have you read any of the NXT spoilers for the next month?
Yeah, I read all of them.
We're not going to spoil it for you guys this week or whatever, but NXT is in overdrive. I think NXT is looking like it's going to be really a top show for the next 5 weeks. This week you have Sanity versus the Undisputed Era, and you also have a Bianca Belair match as well. But you also have a very big match coming up. I don't know do we want to announce this yet, or do we want to wait until next week when it happens?
So NXT is pretty much going to air like an hour from now.
Yeah.
So I feel like we can say this, and considering the show will be out tomorrow, we can comfortably say this, and it'll be fine. Unless they somehow delete it from the show and say, hey, we're doing this next week.
Well, I'm with you. I don't think they'll delete this segment. Obviously, it's not an announced segment, but Johnny Gargano will be coming out, or does come out, and he does put his career on the line against Andrade Cien Almas, and we will be getting Almas Gargano 4 next week on NXT TV with its title versus career. And I think this is a really ballsy, and it's a really, really cool program to do. And it's a really cool storyline to do with Johnny Gargano in particular. I'm not going to give away what happens, but I think that this is going to be, again, and I said this a couple months ago with NXT before Rumble, you're going to want to watch NXT every Wednesday, starting this Wednesday.
Gargano is wilding. I think this is complete, like, I'm talking just from a kayfabe standpoint, this is complete overkill. I don't think you need to put your career on the line just to receive another title match. Maybe he thought he was so close, like I'd do anything just to have another title match. And maybe Zelina Vega is just like, I don't really want to deal with this anymore. Like, so let's put your career on the line so you can get out of our face forever and take your wife with you.
Yeah.
But I think it's kayfabe standpoint, it's overkill, but it should be a good match nonetheless.
I got a question for y'all. So if I'm not mistaken, when they did this 205, when they did the NXT tapings, did they do it up until like the last 2 weeks before Mania?
Yes, they did it up to the last 2 weeks. These tapings will end, I want to say, let me look at the calendar really quick. These tapings will stop on the 7th.
Well, a quick question. You think they possibly going to do like a live show before then?
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, it's a question out my ass. You probably know. I don't know. Do you think they probably gonna do a live show? Because it's just odd that they did it leaving like 2 weeks left.
Well, they're going to go back to Full Sail. I think they'll end it in Full Sail, and I think for a certain storyline, I think you'll want to have that storyline end at Full Sail, if you know what I'm talking about.
And
okay, because yeah.
And I think but this, like, I mean, they've taped it pretty much all up to then. They have free reign to like pretty much like just tape anytime they want through the month of February, as long as Full Sail is free or something. But they have like, they could start tapings for like up to Mania next week, or even the week after that. So
good.
Yeah,
point.
and
Yeah, you also don't want to TNA yourself, because you remember back in the day when TNA used to do like 4 months of taping, and then like somebody will leave or somebody will die or something, or somebody get injured.
Wow.
That give you like 2 weeks to clean up whatever you got leading up. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about a live show. I do know that they will probably be on the same schedule, but if you're looking at just the weeks left, you already know that like it's going to go down in those last 3 weeks, and we're going to start to see the card fully form, because at the end of the 5 week tapings, we have no clue how it's going to end. So I think that it's really going to start to take shape after this, and I'm really excited for the future of NXT going into Mania or Mania weekend. I think that it's going to be a fucking tremendous show, as with all of them, obviously. But yeah, that's everything we have on the show. We usually do something at the end of the show called the match of the week. Amp, do you have a match of the week?
This is like a match that I watch like 3 times a week. I mean, not 3 times a week, 3 times a month. It's Daniel Bryan versus Triple H at WrestleMania 30.
5-star match. I love that match.
I watch that match 3 times a month. Like, I can't stop watching it.
That Tiger suplex, man, is fucking amazing. Like, Triple H did a fucking Tiger suplex. I'll never forget that shit.
I watched the main event also, even though I don't know if y'all noticed it. Like 10 minutes worth in the match, like Batista was like completely blown up, and he was just like non-existent until like the end of the match.
And then that RKO Batista bomb is like one of the most painful looking things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because Randy like landed like one of those old school monitors, like he broke it with his back. So I don't know, like I don't know how he continued.
His dumb ass should have pulled that out. Like he was lacing it up. He pulled out one monitor and was like, "I'm good. I don't even see the other one." And then it's just like, "No, dumbass, it's under the table."
Yeah, it's fucking. I thought that did more harm to Bryan than it did Randy. Like, Bryan was taking some crazy bumps, and he had to wrestle 2 times that night.
I think he'd be all right.
Hey, did Daniel Bryan injure himself during the match? Because like towards the end, like I notice it all the time, like he can barely hold up like both of the titles with one of his arms.
He might have had a stinger.
I feel like he was just selling. I feel like he was just selling the match.
Yeah, he did wrestle twice, and then didn't Triple H focus on the arm too?
He did focus on the arm.
Yeah, he did some shoulder submission. He did a shoulder submission and some shit like that. What's your match of the week, Meelz?
Okay, so this match happened. This match happened like 4 years ago on my birthday. So you're gonna have to go back to like this wild, obscure Raw. It's Raw, February 17th, 2014. John Cena versus Cesaro. Amazing match. It's just one of those, you probably don't remember it, but it was like the first of like, I think it was a U.S. Open Challenge match, and it's just fucking amazing.
My match of the week, I've been watching a lot of really shitty WCW.
Good for you, man. People need to watch it.
I just finished reading, or rather listening to the Death of WCW book. And I think that book is amazing. It's I think anybody who is a fan of wrestling should read or get the audio book. It's free on Audible right now on Amazon. The Death of WCW. And shout out to my boy Cyrus for putting me on it, telling me that it was free, because I've always been wanting to listen to it. Watch the Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior match from Halloween Havoc.
I've seen clips.
I need you guys to go back and watch that and tell me how you, especially you, Amp, because you funny as shit. I want you to tell me how you feel about Hulk Hogan versus the Warrior at WCW Halloween Havoc '98.
I actually seen that match like a long time ago. I remember it was like when it was like leading up to the matches, and like Ultimate Warrior was coming out in like some jeans or some shit. Like he didn't come out in the Warrior gear. Like he just came out in like a pair of jeans. And then funny moment, like when Hulk Hogan was like, he was like looking in the mirror or something, and he seen like Ultimate Warrior like staring at him in the mirror, and it was like some of the worst like CGI ever.
It wasn't CGI. It was literally just them looking at each other and Eric Bischoff acting like Warrior in the mirror. Like it was like
oh my god,
yeah, it was like terrible.
Go back and watch.
this? I seen
I'm literally watching it on YouTube now.
Yeah, I remember the build up to it, but I seen the match like a long time ago. Because that's like one of the reasons why I stopped watching WCW.
Listen, WCW is some trash, and it's been tough to get through these Nitros. I think these Nitros are like the bottom of the barrel. But then again, I think a lot of the Attitude Era Raws were really bad too.
Yeah, I do too. I like early 2000s WWE or WWF, whatever it was called. And you know what's funny? I hate WCW, but my favorite wrestler of all time is Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, the greatest old man wrestler in the world.
Yeah, I watch his matches, and then like I cut it off like back in the day. Like once DDP had his match, I was like, okay, that's enough of this bullshit.
But yeah, that's this episode of the A Show. I want to thank Amp for being so patient with us and helping us out today with everything, and especially this call. Like you've been a lifesaver, my brother.
No problem.
Thank my bladder for not currently exploding.
Oh shit, we're gonna have to wrap this. Do you have anything to push though, Amp? Do you have anything to sell?
Well, y'all can check out my podcast. Y'all can follow me on Twitter, Ampavelli. My podcast, Random Acts of Podcast. You can check that out on iTunes. What else we on? SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all that good shit. Yeah, right.
That's money. How you get on Spotify? That's real money. Tell me how to do that, bro.
I have no clue because it's funny. I had got a Fat Kid Deals. They did like they had some kind of jig where like you got like a year of Spotify for like $9. So I never used Spotify before, so I had copped that jig. And then I was like, fuck it, let me put Random Acts of Podcasts in. And I seen this shit. I was like, I definitely did not submit this in, but I'll take it. I'll take the extra platforms. But
wow, you got money. You got real money, bro. That's crazy. Wish I could be like.
Hey man, I'm poor, man. But shout out to y'all for bringing me on the show, man. I listen to this show every week. I listen to all the RNC stuff. So shout out to y'all. Man.
Thank you. And speaking of RNC, of course, we have a very, very deep lineup for you guys today, or not today, this week, including the A Show for this week. We had RNC Radio with me and Josh Pease, obviously. And we talk about Josh Pease and his entrance into the music industry. And it's something that, like, if you're into music or if you're into just learning about how the way the industry works and marketing and stuff like that, Josh really lays it out. I think it's one of the best episodes of RNC Radio. I advise you guys to go check it out on our SoundCloud, or you can subscribe to us on iTunes. And we also have a brand new playlist for you guys this week. We always got the dope playlist, and I want to give a shout out to Corey Towns for helping us curate the our Philly John playlist, where we have the best, celebrating the Super Bowl and the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. We have some of the best Philadelphia based tracks from Beanie Siegel and Meek Mill, and obviously I'm just giving you the most popular guys, but there's more on there. But the link is going to be in the description for you guys on this episode of the A Show. Meelz, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't. I have to pee.
Meelz about to pee on himself.
I felt a little bit.
As always, you can follow me at OGJohnny5, and you can follow Meelz at Meelz TV. That is MEELZ TV for another episode of the A Show. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week with the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Bye, guys.
Happy Rusev Day.